I'm recording this week's video in two parts because I've got a lot on my mind. I figure talking about some of it now will help me stop thinking about it so I can focus on other things. So the second part will be all about the AI, but I'm going to record that later so I have more time to keep working on it. I might as well start by showing you I've made some improvements to my home office and studio. It was getting a bit crowded before, so now I've added another desk, and now I've got a dedicated area for music production separate from my development work. I think this is going to make things a lot better going forward. But now something that's bugging me. I recently found out that YouTube has been showing ads on my videos. I made a conscious choice not to enable monetization because I didn't want ads on my videos, but if they're going to show them anyway, it makes me wonder, how much money did I miss out on? Especially when I had a big surge in viewers around GDC. I've never had anything like that since. So that's money that's just been given away to YouTube for no good reason. And as far as I can tell, the only way to really turn off ads on videos is to enable monetization first, and then select individual videos to disable ads on. So now the question is, if I'm going to sign up for monetization, should I just leave the ads and start making a little extra money on the side, or should I go and turn them off? Because people are used to it. I mean, it is the norm on YouTube to have ads, so maybe it's not so bad. I just didn't want to subject my viewers to that. So if you've got any strong opinions on this, please let me know in the comments. I really haven't decided yet. Speaking of income sources, right now the only income I get is from Patreon, and I've had a rather unpleasant experience with their customer support. I was mad enough that I almost wanted to leave the platform, but I'm reminding myself that this is one person in their support department, so maybe I shouldn't abandon an entire platform because of one person, but maybe I should consider other options in addition to Patreon, such as YouTube channel memberships. So I wonder if people would be interested in that. Perhaps people that didn't want to create an account on Patreon, but don't mind doing it on YouTube because you're already here. So I'd appreciate feedback on that as well. Speaking of trying out other YouTube features, I've been thinking about doing live streaming of gaming for a long time, and I did a sort of test run on Twitch, but I also put out a poll recently asking what streaming platform people here prefer. Understandably, there's a bias toward YouTube since the poll was on YouTube, but I'm going to give that a try. I'll do a first trial run the same night that this video is going out, so it'll be 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and I'll put other times on the screen. So if you're interested in watching me play games, please drop by. I'll probably have some kind of archived video for people that aren't there at that specific time, but we'll see how it goes, and maybe this will become a weekly thing if people are interested. This is kind of a recurring theme lately. I'm trying out things, and I really want your feedback on all of it. Every time I see a dislike on a video, I would really like to know why. What can I do better to make these videos more interesting to people? So if you have any kind of feedback for me, please leave it in the comments, or if you prefer to do it privately, you can send an email to thomas@thoughtquake.com, or go to Discord and send me a PM there, or even Twitter, you can DM @thoughtquake. And before I forget, I want to say again, thanks to everyone who's shown me support either through comments or Patreon. I really appreciate hearing about people being inspired by these videos to pursue their own game ideas. And, even if mine is not a financial success, just knowing that I'm encouraging other people to try things like this makes it somewhat worthwhile. And once again, special thanks to David Nurkala for very generous support over, I don't even know how many months. It's been a long time now, but I really appreciate it. I guess that's all I had for this first part, so let's skip ahead to showing off that new AI. It's been a grueling day of debugging, but I'm proud to finally say they've learned how to open doors. So, for one thing, I've started testing my AI by pitting it against itself. I have 2 players controlled by the AI currently. I've also made some rudimentary saving and loading so that I can easily recreate this scenario here. But yeah, my biggest struggle has been actually the doors, specifically hacking doors, because this is a multi-step process. I had this system of allowing objects to create a link between 2 locations that factors into the pathfinding. So for instance, pathfinding can understand the teleporter can take a unit from one place to another, or with doors, initially the path is blocked by the door, but I make the AI aware that it can get from one side of the door to the other if there's an intermediate step of opening the door. And if the AI is not already in control of that door, there's the additional step of hacking. And so having a multi-step link defined by objects proved to be somewhat complicated. I had a lot of bugs with it, but it's finally working. And it's a little bit messy, a little bit fiddly for, when you're defining an object to set up these links, but it's still not too bad. I'm going to walk through it in a moment. So currently, the AI can move around, open doors, pick up crates, drop crates, and attack. I added attacking as well. But there are some... there's still some work that needs to be done. For instance, currently the attack scoring does not factor in friendly fire. So it's possible for the AI to shoot its own friendly units in the face. What I'm probably going to do is port over the old aiming algorithm I had in the prototype, because that did factor in sort of a sum of scores for everything in the firing arc, positive for enemies and negative for friendlies. So that shouldn't be too hard. I also need to do things like having the AI drop what it's carrying before it tries to shoot. Like currently, it can fire a weapon or hack a door while holding a crate, which isn't supposed to happen. It won't happen in the finished version. So there's little things like that I still need to do, and I need to fill in the AI integration for some additional objects like the med kit and the cloak, and then a lot of objects that aren't implemented yet. But it's nice to see it finally basically working. It looks like here the red player has won and collected all the crates. What I did was I put in a cargo pad object. Since I don't have multiple ships in play yet, essentially the cargo pads determine a destination that the AI is trying to get the crates to. And I have some pads owned by each player so that they're sort of fighting back and forth over it. So let's take a look at how this looks on the GD script side. Reset links is just an internal method that gets called either when the door is first created or when it changes orientation. And that just clears all the links that it's registered with the game board and creates new ones. Get link actions, get link move distance, and get link min progress actions are just ways that the object informs the path finding of sort of the cost of following the link that this object can provide. The actions is sort of an estimate of the total cost of going through that link. And in this case, if the player already owns the door, it's basically 0. Otherwise, it's estimating 2 because currently hacking gives you a 50% chance of success. So on average, it may take 2 tries. Link move distance is to account for actually walking into the square of the door. And get link min progress actions is there to allow the AI to make some progress on this link if it doesn't have enough actions to do the full thing yet. Because again, that was one of my biggest problems. So I sort of separated the full cost versus the minimum amount it takes to make progress. And I'm probably going to revise this a bit more, but we'll see. Then try follow link is what actually executes moving through the link. So in this case, if the player already owns the door, all it has to do is open it. And if it has actions to start moving through, it'll do that, but it can still make progress by opening the door even if there's not a single action available to start walking. Whereas if it's not controlled by the current player, it'll try to hack, and actually if it succeeds on the first time, it will report this as a failure, just so the AI has to reevaluate everything, because in the first pass, the AI was assuming a cost of 2. And then if that didn't work, it tries again. If that works, it'll open the door and start walking through. Again, contingent on how many actions are available. Just returning true or false here essentially tells the AI, was this action successful or not? And by reporting that it's not successful, it's not necessarily that this isn't going to work. It's just like it needs to reevaluate or try again. So that's just a look at the current state of things. My next steps are to wrap up a few more things here, including experiments like what actions become available if the AI drops what it's carrying first, and then I need to actually enforce that it can't do other things while carrying. And then I'm going to move on to packaging this up as more of a playable game, so people can start play testing this for balance and things. I'm sure a lot of balance things will change, especially as I add items and if I'm going to increase the number of actions per unit per turn. But it'll be really helpful to get people just trying it out. What I kind of want to do is I might steal some of the code from my roguelike tutorial to generate a random level, and then place a few units for the human player and some units for the AI player, and then just see, can you beat it? Can you protect your cargo from the AI? So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how far I'll get on that next week, but we'll see. And that's all for this video. So as always, it really helps if you hit the like button, spread the word, and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching.